Welcome back to another episode of The Maturity Project. I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. You know, perfection. What an interesting concept. And I often tell people, people are like, oh, I'm not perfect. Well, I'm a big time, I love interrupting people. Just interrupting where they are in life enough to get them to go, oh crap, I've been going through life like a zombie. I'm just aping the ritualistic behaviors from yesterday and not even realizing they're doing it. And then they look back and go, where the hell did time go? So perfection. First off, I separate the two, perfect and perfection, from one another. As perfect is how I teach this and how those that actually go through the education that I offer, the Maturity Project, how you're taught what perfect is. And perfect is what you are right now. Right? It's the perfect value of reality. You are the culmination of every single decision you've ever made in your life. You have your genetic hand that you can't do anything as far as exactly what you have lined up genetically. Then you have what happens when you line up what you have genetically with the environment and the way you choose to acknowledge the environment. You have choice in that. But you have a pre-dealt hand that is your genetics. And you'll have specific adaptations that make you better in some ways, more adept in some ways, more capable than others, and then in other ways, less capable than others. You're just perfect the way you are right now for who you are. Now, you have goals. You're not perfect for your goals. You're just perfect for where you are. You have effort and work to put into it to get to your goals. It's going to take time. It's going to take development. But you get caught up in this idea where you separate things. The same thing. And I'll give another example here. I'm going to get to perfection in a second. Give another example. When people tell me that I'm smart, they say, Chad, you're so smart. I interrupt that shit. Don't tell me I'm smart. Don't brand me with that in some way that you start looking at it as if I've got some sort of genetic predisposition to intelligence that separates me from you. I'm not separate than you. I'm on average of intellect. I did not score into the genius level on the IQ tests. A very high degree of curiosity. It leads to life. It has me sit with great attention to what I'm learning because I'm so curious about things. That increases it increases a lot. And I'm curious about things that I don't really care much about because I'll find a way to care about it. I'll associate it with things that do matter to me. I'm going to sit around and talk about makeup tutorials. Well, guess where I'm going to go with it? Yeah, I'll watch makeup tutorials. I'll watch it with you. Here's why. I want to know how it affects you. I want to know what it is that draws people in. I want to start pulling information in to understand exactly why people will go to such extremes to cover up who they are so that others can accept them. The thing that makes them feel prettier, makeup. So I've told partners, and I will tell partners, you don't really need to wear makeup for me. You don't. I prefer the natural beauty. I'm not sure if you want to dress up occasionally. I'm going to support it. But I'm not going to tell you have to. You don't have to do that for me. I prefer you not. But to hold on to the makeup thing, that's how disinterested I am in makeup. But yet I'll find ways to be interested because my curiosity will lead it. So don't call me smart, please. Sure, there's intelligences here, but it's led by my curiosity. If anything, you can just say I'm incredibly curious, but anybody can be curious. You just have to let go of whatever it is that's distracting you at the moment that information is available to you. Whatever it is that you're anchored to out of your need, you have to let go of that. I've been able to associate my need with what I'm curious about, and that turns out that I'm curious about a lot because I'm up to a lot. I want to be able to connect with people on many, many, many levels and in many subjects. So I have some interests, but I'll sit as a student, even in areas that I'm actually well versed in, because it's up to me about becoming the person that I want to be. Now, perfection is an infection. Perfection is used in order to get people to do things that they're not currently doing. Often you see this in advertisement. Something is framed to people to say, oh, you need this. Sales is built off of concepts of perfection because they put their product out as if it's one of the best, if not the best there is to actually get a hold of. Therefore, you should buy it. And if you don't buy it, your competition will, whatever that competition may be. It may not be another business competition. It may be the makeup, and your competition. You got to have that flashy car. Whatever it is, that's what moves you forward. It makes you do things you wouldn't otherwise do. So perfection is an infection. It's what is used to get you to be motivated to do something for someone else. Buy my stuff. I need your money. I'm not saying don't buy. I'm not saying don't experience life. Sure, there's a lot of ways of experiencing life. But when it comes to really being able to set yourself free, first get present to who the hell you are. So a lot of people want 3 easy steps or 5 easy steps or whatever it is, and I get it. You need that because your attention is so expensive. You're paying other people with your attention, and advertisers want you to pay for their product, and they're willing to get something to get your attention, right? Like think about back in the day, Geico had a lot of funny commercials to really draw people in, to help them get market share. Anybody notice that Geico started to back off on that? They don't really need to. They become a bigger, a much larger insurance company. But they used to use humor to get your attention. What the hell does humor have to do with, or cavemen have to do with insurance? They associated it with you have to be a caveman in order not to see the value of saving money and getting the same policy or the same type of policy. And then it turned into this huge, comedic relief thing. Because it's effective. But it has nothing to do with insurance, really. It has an association to some degree. And then they ran with it and they built onto it and all of that. So it's advertising. It's a way for you they buy your attention by giving you something to pay attention to. But then they also get you to buy their product. Now again, with this society, you got to buy something. You can't fall into the outcast side of things because it's just you have to buy something. It's just the way that things work. But at the same time, do you need the Mercedes or do you need the Dodge Dart? It's which vehicle do you need to get where you want to go. They're both going to get you to point A to point B. But one of them is going to get people turning their heads and thinking, ooh, that's a successful person. You don't need it. You get an experience out of it, sure. Without really thinking too much into it. I bought a Challenger, RT. And it's fun to have a muscle car. It's fun to have something that you can drive around and do something with. But really, it's not that necessary. Sure, now I have it. But could I be happy with something else? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if I don't need to be attached to what it takes, like how I'm going to feel throughout my drive between point A to point B and what I'm sitting in and what people think of the vehicle that I'm in. Or what kind of torque it can produce and how fast it can get to a certain speed. Sure, that's great. It's fun. But it's not necessary. So you build your life with all this stuff around you and the desperate pursuit of perfection. But you're perfect as you are. Now, what do you want to accomplish? And we can start speaking from there. But if I'm going to talk to you about what you want to accomplish and you're holding on to things that make you not perfect, that make you not accept the fact that you are perfect for where you are, well, yeah, I've got to fill in a void that's also very likely motivating you to do something that once that void is satiated, whatever your bigger goals are, you're probably not going to continue to try to get to those goals. So you'll abandon them in the process because you have a void to pay off. Once that void's paid off, you're good to go, right? Like people are like, hey, once I get married, as an example, in all 8 areas, these examples work, but I'll use the ones that are most obvious. Once I get married, then I won't have to go to the gym as much. Or when I get that solid relationship, that thing that I do for my partner right now to just show them that I'm the right person because I make them feel really good. I can really satisfy them in the bedroom, or they're really they're happy the way that I keep the finances or whatever. But it's easier to just go with the bedroom thing, because that's the one that most men complain about, is whenever they get married, the wife stops doing certain things for them. So it's so easy to get just caught up in filling in the void. But we don't want to admit that we're doing it, or we're so unconscious. We're in that zombie economy right now. We're in this zombie economy of interacting with each other that we're not even willing to look at. You are actually perfect the way you are. Now, if you can accept that and truly get to that understanding, man, you're becoming powerful. Because somebody who doesn't have a void to fill but is truly after the goal because of the desire to experience something specific in life, man, they become potent because they're not paying 2 bills. You'll end up paying 2 bills by simply forcing yourself. Yeah, you'll pay 2 bills by forcing yourself to fill the void plus pursue your goals. Strategize it. Sure, you can set your destination on your goals, but let's focus on what you really need to do. Don't try to go after your goals, but yet not put in the effort to fill in the void. Whatever it is that you tell yourself that you're not good enough for, let's work on that before we just get so, ambitiously driven towards our goal that we build our goals, achievements, off of a hollow foundation, something that's missing. Because triggered into that thing that's missing, the void. And then you become different. You either get defensive, and you could have achieved your goals, but then lose it because this is all complete. Working on being complete. That's what perfection denies you. But you being perfect gives you opportunity to have, or actually grants you permission to have. I'm still untangling the web of craziness that 44 years has brought me experiences of. I've got to work on all of those things, but I am actively doing it. And I'm continuously seeking out that void to figure out what exactly I need to do so that I can be complete. So I am perfect as I am. And then when I catch my mind pulling me away from being perfect, I find my work. Let me make this very clear, because people love to default to other bullshit statements and they don't understand what I'm saying. When I say that I'm perfect, I am not saying that I'm the perfection that everyone should pursue. I am perfect the way that I am because I am the way that I am, and I am the culmination of all of my life's decisions and the genetic hand that I was dealt. I made these decisions to get here. I can appreciate that I've done it. And then I could also work on the lessons that are waiting for me because I did it in a way that should have been done differently, or could have been done differently. Actually, to say that could have been done differently, because could have been done differently means I had a choice and I went with something else. Now, should can be considered to be similar, but should is shoulding, right? And should has a lot to do with what you did wrong or what somebody else did wrong. But could just means that you made a choice and it didn't quite turn out to be the better of the 2 or 3 or however many choices. That's all. Could is not as condemning as should. So I could have made different choices. And it's okay. I'm not upset about that. Now, when I say I should, then yeah, perhaps I'm putting shame as a motivator to change the behavior. But I don't want to build my foundation on the fact that I'm constantly shoulding on myself, because then I'll start shoulding on other people. And once you start doing that, you really start turning people into either victims or villains. So, and it's just this weird game that I'm not willing to play. So I'm not out to be this, monk type person that's going to go through life without having, ups and downs and, this weird guru thing that people are trying to find. It's just the authentic and true self. That person who's willing to put in the work on a daily basis to really take on life. So where this thing goes, I don't know. I've changed my mind along the way many times. I'm on my fourth fucking career. So, but I have an ability to reinvent myself. And that is directly linked to my curiosity. So if you want easy steps, fantastic. 3 easy steps to turn this thing around for you. First off, let's look at where you are. Where are you? We're going to qualify that by saying, okay, you genetically are where you are based off of what you've inherited through your parents procreating and then their parents and then continuing down the lineage, right? That's where you are with your genetics. Then you're at every single decision that you've made. How many of those are you responsible for? Are you responsible for what you chose to do? Because if you're not, you've disempowered yourself. If you don't want to take responsibility because it makes you look bad, you're not willing to do the reps that it takes to be successful. And you're going to hide. Stop hiding. You got to step out of that. So there's one easy step, right? Figure out where you are. I started mentioning the second one, which the second one is be responsible for where you are. Own that shit. Yeah, if you've done things that has messed up against other people, guess what? It's time to own it. So just first off, own it for yourself and realize and admit to yourself you did it. Whatever it is, just own that at least. If you can't come all the way out and tell people because you could disrupt somebody else's life because you just don't want to admit to it, because that admittance is going to exceed your degree of responsibility and you're forcing somebody else to be responsible that's not ready, you can be forces of chaos. Because you may destabilize somebody else that had their moment of weakness with you or their moment of need fulfilled with you. Whatever that is, it's easy to go with an affair, but there could be a lot of things that actually do that has somebody else feel that they were betrayed because their partner did something with you. Whether that's a business partner had made a decision with you and they weren't a part of it, and then they'd feel betrayed, therefore it could tear their business apart. There's a lot of ways to look at it, but people want to go to the most simplistic, so fine, go to it. I don't care. Pick it. Whatever it is you want to be responsible for, but first just look at it. Second step, take responsibility in yourself that you did what you did. And then third, figure out how you can do it differently the next time and work on those skills. Pick them. Where are you currently? Be present and own that shit. 2, be responsible for the positions that you've actually, the choices that you've made. Oh, that's more than being present. That's looking back to the past and going, okay, I did that, no matter how ugly it is. And third of all, how can you prevent it from happening again in the future? So that you do it differently in the future. So you don't take the easy path in the future. And work on that. Yeah, I may sound preachy, I might be all of that. I don't give a shit. Yeah, sure. Whatever fits the narrative that works for you. But if this is a video that wakes you up and makes you do something different, then fucking great. This is my goal. I am out to do things to make things different. And I will live my life in a way that truly means something beyond what I get out of this life. I've got a son to work towards his future. I've got to teach him how to be the man that he needs to be. And these are lessons that he's going to be getting from me. And that he is getting from me, even though he's so young. It doesn't matter. He's getting it. These videos will be there for him to watch after I'm gone. to see his father in the glory that he was, right? Glory. Now, you're witnessing me in the process. And no matter what, you're always going to witness me in the process, just what stage I'm in life. And I want to witness you in those stages too. So the people that are close to me in life, I am this kind of positive support in their life. I am this desirable support. It does not always come across as positive, because I shake people. I wake them up. I interrupt the process. I'm not a sycophant. I don't sit back and say, okay, this is good, and I don't want to upset you even though I disagree with you. No, I'm going to disagree with you if I disagree with you. But I'm not going to argue and fight with you because I disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you, and we're going to figure out why that disagreement's there. What perspectives are different. But that's something that I do with people that I care about, because I don't want to care about them to the point that I enable them. I want to care about them to the point that I empower them. Moving forward, you can make this choice. You got to look. You don't need to make a choice today that tomorrow is significantly different. Make the choice that today that tomorrow is 1% different. That you do something today that is 1% closer to your goal than it was yesterday. That's it. It's vague because I can't dig into your life directly and help you get there. We don't have that relationship. I don't have that kind of freedom right now to be able to give you such things. But I can at least work with my own world and the people that I have that I can talk about from the experiences that I've had, and to offer a perspective to make something different. I can at least do that for now, until I get to the next level of what I'm after, my goals, which will be leading seminars and putting together bodies of education that people can consume and to really assimilate into their own lives and to make something great for themselves. Yeah, I'm all in, but I just got to get there, right? And this is the process of getting there. This is a daily thing. If you check, I'm making videos on a daily basis. I try for 6 days a week. That's my goal. Though I've reached, and I've got a marketing person I'm working with now. I'm working with him to build mine. Though I'm connecting with people in a way that I get to have deep conversations that fucking matter. Though we all matter. It's just some of us got to be woke up. We got to wake up now. Because if you don't, you're going to continue this zombie ritual that you'll just get to a certain point and say, man, I don't know what happened in my life. Then embrace bitterness. Because that's something that's waiting. Whenever you're lacking purpose, bitterness fills its void. So if you're going to go around filling voids, man, bitterness is a real hard thing to fill. It's a hard thing to satiate. Bitterness is like a parasite that just sits in your gut and makes you consume things you don't want to. And it only gets stronger as you do it. It's more habit forming. It's hard to get rid of. Until you realize the reason why you're bitter is because you don't have purpose. And you're jealous and upset that other people are showing that they're accomplishing things that you're not. It's up to you. You do your life the way you want to do it, or you can join me in this process and you can do it with me. Join with me. Share this video with people in your life that can make the difference and break the ice. Start a different conversation today. You can watch this and do it. Have your conversation. You can use this as a jumping off point. Look, the world needs us to wake up. It's begging for us to wake up, but we really have to work on ourselves first before we try to take on the world's problems. Because the reality is the world's problems are our problems that we're unwilling to take on. It's just on a bigger scale. You see people leaving trash laying around all over the place. Well, how about this? Do you make your bed in the morning? Do you pick up your clothes after you take them off and you put them in the proper place so that you can wash it? Half-assed jobs. You see people that have done something half-ass. Well, when was the last time you ran the dryer after washing your clothes and left them in there and then go, oh, damn, I forgot to get those? Microcosms to the macrocosms. They're the same thing. So if you think you're going to skip over your own shit the things that you need to do for yourself right now to take care of yourself, and you're going to take on the bigger issues, you're just going to be another one of the people that get criticized because you're doing it wrong, because you won't do it right on the low level and the small levels. No, it's, if you want, right? Michael Jackson said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror, right? If you want to make a world a better place, you got to look in the mirror and make that change. Yeah, he was a hell of an insightful person, man. Now, anyway. All right. Well, I am Chad Everett Broshears, of Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. If you know, you know. This is the Maturity Project. This is here to help you grow. Join me. Subscribe to the channel. Let's help get these numbers up so that I can start to, get a little bit more notice on YouTube, and we can push this thing into something greater. Be contributory to this. I am not the arbiter of truth and the ultimate of truth. I'm just a dude that really is curious about learning life, and I want to fucking learn, man. I want to have these experiences, and I want to help prop other people up that are great at this. It's not just me. I'm not the best at this stuff. I'm aware that this stuff is going on. I'm not the best. Join me in that. Contribute to others. Put comments in the comment section. Just tell people what's going on. What have you got from this? What are your insights, and how are you making your life different by working through the Maturity Project? Like the video, help move it up in the algorithm. Okay? All right. Till next time, let's get after it. We got a world to take advantage. We got a world to take care of, but man, let's take care of ourselves too. All right. Till next time. See ya. Let's get to work together. See ya.